Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back.
That's right.
It is episode 48 of Fringe Fanatics.
That's right.
I am Chris Zane.
And I'm Chad Lee.
Yes, he is.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yes, indeed. Episode 48 means what, Chad?
The Torrey Hunter episode. If people aren't aware, this guy was a baller from the Minnesota Twins.
Indeed he was. He's a center fielder and right fielder. He played for the Twins, the Angels, the Tigers from 97 through 2015. He was a 5-time All-Star and won 9 consecutive Gold Gloves as a center fielder, and he was also a 2-time Silver Slugger.
Yeah, if people haven't ever seen any of Torrey's highlights, just type it in YouTube and you will see numerous home runs getting robbed. This guy was all over the fence, making acrobatic catches all the time, and then finished with, I think you said the bat. I don't know if you mentioned the batting average, a career batting average of 277.
Yeah, which is pretty good for as long as he played.
Pretty impressive.
As we were talking about before, you get those dips at the end when you start falling off.
That's right.
It's hard to keep it up there.
Hats off to you, Mr. 48.
Yes, Mr. 48, Torrey Hunter, and that is the honorary number of the episode. So,
Chris, how the hell are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Another rip-roaring, super busy fucking week, but it was pretty good. Got a bunch of shit done that I finally feel like I've got caught up.
That's cool.
Got that sandwich board for Zane done. I had to redo some stuff and like bar top it with epoxy.
Oh.
And then I threw some like gold glitter on it, and it looks fucking sick. So
Whoa.
I'll show you a video of that when we're done.
That's cool.
But that was pretty cool. We also had that show this weekend with The Missing and Meet the Giant. It went pretty good.
Cool.
It was down at the Roxy on Broadway. It was our first time playing there. It's a little far south for my liking.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, oh, it's almost I-25 and Broadway. Like, even people that live on like Colfax are like, that's just too far. And I'm just like,
dude, my buddy Simon invited us. We have a house party weekend, and it's way further south than that. It's right off of like 285 down there on like Hampton, like, and then west, like around Lakewood. And I told him, I said, dude, we got our landlord coming over on 4 on Saturday, and I'm like, I don't know if we can get back in time, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're down there,
you're
man.
far away, man.
Yeah. Like,
so yeah, I mean that was
cool.
But we did dominate. We debuted a new song that I fucked up, so that was kind of cool. I don't think anybody in the crowd knew that I fucked it up, because musically it sounded good, but I fucked up all the lyrics that we were messing around with beforehand.
Did Andrew throw a drumstick at you?
He didn't.
Damn, you should have, Andrew.
No, we've run into this before where it's like we think something works in the practice space, and then we get out there like with like a good, really big sound system where you can actually hear everything, and you're like, oh yeah, that doesn't really work, does it?
Huh.
So yeah, we have one song right now, Done Me Wrong, that we played it 3 times before it turned into what it is now, and each time it was like significantly different than the last time we played it, because it's just like you're workshopping it, you think it's good, and then you're like, nah, I don't think it's good, guys, I think we fucked up. Back to the drawing board.
That's what it is, man. Calibrating.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Cool. Nice.
Other than that, yeah, it's been busy. It's just fucking working like 11 hours every day.
Yeah.
I think Saturday was the only day, and I had Sunday off, but Saturday was the only day I didn't work 11 hours this last week.
Shit, dude. Well, I appreciate you making time for the podcast.
Always,
dude.
man.
Yeah,
always.
Good.
How about you? How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty chill. We, after having that last weekend in Missouri, we wanted to keep it kind of chill this last one. Yeah, definitely not Missouri. It was a good time. We watched the new Spider-Verse movie.
Oh, nice.
That was Across the Spider-Verse. It was fucking awesome, dude. I love those movies.
Yeah.
They're so cool.
I keep seeing this thing on my reels or whatever on Facebook that's talking about that Mumbattan, where it's like the Indian version of Spider-Verse.
Oh, the guy that's in it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like crazy. Like, I guess they brought in a bunch of like Indian animators and stuff to help like
probably
redo that.
It was nuts, man. I mean, they had so much going to it. There was actually a scene, I heard about this when it was in theaters actually, but I can't remember which Spider-Man it was. But a YouTuber, this guy that got famous. He's a 15-year-old kid that
he got shit like a scene in there or something.
Yeah, he did a short little scene where he animated it because he taught himself to do it, and the makers of the movie are like, let's let him do it. And It was wild. It was a damn good time watching the movie.
That was like that episode of Bob's Burgers. Did you ever see that? Do you watch Bob's Burgers?
Yeah. Which episode?
There's that episode where they like it was like fan animated, like where fans sent in.
I didn't see that one.
Like they just sent in bits and pieces, and so like the whole episode's like totally crazy and like,
Whoa.
changes animation styles all the time.
Yeah,
but it was pretty cool.
That one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was definitely cool.
Yeah. A Saturday night though, fucking had a badass time, dude. It was awesome. Had the Chiefs game up on the TV, then had UFC going on my phone before the main card started. Then had like the Chiefs game on mute for a big part of it, and while we were playing cards, drinking, we grilled steaks. It was a great night, man.
Nice,
especially because the Chiefs won pretty good, even though it's preseason. But it was good to see.
Yeah, you gotta love the preseason. You're like, well, it doesn't really matter. So
yeah, but it's better than them just sucking. You know,
that's true.
Yeah,
could be worse. You know,
right.
Could be worse.
Yeah. But we did play the Cardinals, which you guys played,
Yeah,
so that was a big measure.
As well,
I wanted to make sure we didn't fall to them
as well.
Yeah. But other than that, man, it was a Sunday. Just mowed around, just mowed the yard work, boring shit.
Yeah, I did that. I did mowing last night when I got home from work at 6. I was like, if I don't do it tonight, it's gonna be worse by the time I can get to it. And then it's fucked.
That's the worst when you let it get that tall, and then you go try to mow it, and you're like, and then the mower stops. And you're like,
or it's just like changing the bag all like a whole bunch.
Oh yeah,
that's the worst.
I can't stand doing that.
I quit putting it in trash bags though. I'm like trying to make that other mountain garden for next year.
Oh.
So I'm just taking like literally everything that I like rip up or cut and throw it on there, and it's just basically like a giant mulch pile.
God, you just got a giant pile of shit. Yeah,
kind of. It doesn't look the best, but by the end of the season, once I quit mowing, I'm going to take the rest of the dirt pile I have and like actually build it into what it's going to be next year.
Well, then after it gets all the snow and rain on it and all that moisture in it, it's going to fucking be killer next year.
Yeah, it should be pretty good. So.
Rad. Where's my veggies at, dude? What the fuck?
Oh, man? I need to bring some. Yeah,
dude.
I've got like 20 jalapenos on that plant right now.
That's what I need is jalapenos.
I think there's like 10 or so serranos, and I've got a few Carolina Reapers coming in. But yeah, dude, our zucchinis, it's just like sometimes I'm just like we forget about them, and then all of a sudden there's like this giant one. I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, they grow as big as my forearm.
Like,
have you seen the pumpkin plant that I have out here in front? Yeah, when you walk past it, you'll see it. I just decided to put like I had pumpkin seeds from last year, and I just put it like in a little pot, so it's from seeds. That's what's nuts. And then you look out there. And I was wondering, I'm like, where's this vine, like, going to end up? And it's, like, 5 feet high in the bush.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like
the vines
ivy,
are crazy,
man.
yeah. We fucking got the spaghetti squashes, and we've got a few of them that are, like, this big already.
Shit.
But I guess you let them yellow on the vine, and it's almost like you wait till the vine dies. I'm just
pretty
learning
much
all this stuff, you know, as we go.
Who fucking knows?
But, yeah, we've got, like, we're going to have so many spaghetti squashes. We bought 2 plants, and, like, literally... like the whole back of the garden. I was like, it doesn't look like we have anything really in the back, but now it's just full of fucking spaghetti squash vines.
Anything in the
like
squash
going
family.
Out the side.
Yeah.
And shit.
Like that's what I've learned my lesson before where a couple years ago I put like the zucchini and I think like some pepper plants like in the same garden bed. No, that's a mistake. Don't put anything near squash.
Way too many zucchinis in the same area.
Yeah.
So it's just like an insane
looking like a jungle.
Yeah, dude. Like, well, that's why we keep missing them. I'm like crawling through, like looking, and I'm like, I think I see one over there. But yeah, it's cool.
Fucking Farmer Dan over here.
Yes, sir. Gotta get those veggies over. But if you guys have made it this far through that spiel, please make sure to like and subscribe whatever you're watching or listening to us on. And as always, if you haven't yet, please like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media at @fringe_fanatics. And we have a new addition to this, folks. We do have a phone number now, and let me give you that phone number. You can actually call us, leave us voicemails, or if you know that we're recording, you can call us while we're recording, and we'll answer the damn
That would
thing.
be awesome, too. Most times, Tuesday nights around 6 p.m., call us up.
Yeah, anywhere from 6 basically to 8 p.m. Tuesday nights, we are here recording.
That's what we're doing.
And then once we do get to the point, my goal right now is the draft is going to be live streamed on Twitch, and that's going to be kind of the beginning of streaming the show every night when we record.
Yeah.
So we'll have a live show, we'll have the recorded show, and then we'll have the podcast version. That is the plan. But
the number is
720-441-5651. 5116. That is the Fringe Fanatics hotline.
That's right. Call us up.
Yes, get at it. Get at your hot boys on the hotline.
Treat it like a love line. If you guys got questions about, hey, what do I do in this relationship? My girl, she hates that I watch so much football.
If that's what it turned into.
She thinks like, oh, I'm married to Red Zone. Call us up. We deal with those same issues. Please do.
Yeah, just get a call in. Talk to us.
Chris, how many times on the end of a Sunday has Meryl been like, really? Another game?
Yeah. It's true.
It's just part of it.
Yeah, she's like, do we really have to watch the Sunday night football game? And I'm like, unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. Or she asked me on like a Thursday, why are you watching the Browns and the Jags right now?
I'm like, I don't know.
I've got fantasy players in it, okay?
I don't know. But if you have made it this far and you haven't given us a call yet, you need to.
Yep.
But on that note, I haven't said that one in a while. On that note, this one is to you guys.
Episode
this
48.
One is to episode 48. Let's lock it in. Cheers. And let's get her on the road.
Yeah. That's how you get started. Let's get this ball rolling.
Guess what? It's time for headlines.
Hit it, Chris.
Headlines! Get your headlines here!
That's right, people. It is time for the headlines. One quick thing, I guess we should mention, it is Tuesday, August 16th, in case you're wondering how up-to-date these headlines are.
Yep.
So we do try to grab them as soon as possible.
Pretty much
generally
up-to-date.
Prepare during the day today while I'm at work, whenever we have little breaks waiting for trucks. But
nice.
Let's get into the NFL, Chad. I think it's time.
I think it is.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
Giving them the business.
That's right, and we are giving you the business of football. Preseason week 2 is in the books.
Yep, we're getting
How
closer.
How are we feeling? Let's talk about some of the crazy things from this week of
We
football.
had a few really crazy things. Let's
Indeed.
get to one of the most crazy ones where one of the games wasn't able to finish. It's kind of crazy. Unfortunately, Isaiah Bolden took a severe hit. Did you watch the hit?
I did watch the hit, and it was strange. It's one of those ones where you're like, I didn't really see it.
I had to watch it like 3 times.
But then you see, it looks like his head catches the hip of his buddy, another cornerback.
Whips him around.
Yeah, he's like coming in to make the hit, gets like hit on this side, spins around, and he just fucking just lays there
just
like
lays
that.
There.
It didn't look good, and clearly afterwards, I think, like with the DeMar Hamlin stuff,
That's
and with
why.
it being preseason, I think if that was a regular season game, it would have been a
probably
different
would
story.
have finished it. Yeah,
But with it being preseason, I think it's just like it's not worth it.
Yep.
We're kind of coming to realize, as like we're getting into the start of the NFL season with just the preseason stuff, like how much these teams don't give a fuck about these games.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially watching Hard Knocks and stuff, like it's crazy because you could tell. I feel like the first half of games, that's where coaches are really striving. And then after that, when the backups go in, it's like, all right, let's just get over this game and make sure nobody gets hurt. That's really what it
I mean, and the thing is too, it's not like you're really planning or anything. You're not really doing any like sort of like actual like, oh, we're really prepping for the Cardinals this week. You know, you're like, we're going in, we're running these plays. And like if they show us this, we might run this, but it's very like base. Like we're just trying to install stuff still, unless you're like one of the season's teams like the Chiefs, where you're like, all right, guys, let's just get back into the swing of things.
The Ravens, where you're trying to extend a record that means nothing.
But 24 game preseason streak ended
last night. Did you see? I think it was the offensive lineman. I can't remember which one
that came in and blew up the fucking cornerback in the end zone. Yeah.
Oh no, not that one. But I did see that. I did. I was like, because that started a little brawl.
Yeah.
But there was one of them. Maybe it was that guy. He was like, "No, I guarantee you, we're gonna win. We're tired of this streak. We don't, it's done."
They were that mad about the streak.
The Commanders really wanted. Yeah, the Commandos. I saw a funny fantasy name the other day when I was trying to find mine that was like the Commandos.
The Commandos.
That's nasty.
Oh, you guys are risque.
But yeah, so You know, I saw this guy was basically like, "Yeah, we're gonna stop this. I guarantee it." And sure enough, in the last second,
He Joe Namath them.
He did. I watched some of that game last night too, since it was on Monday night. Man, Sam Howell looks decent. That offense is rolling.
They definitely said he is now the starter, so
Yep.
he's got the reins, as they say. So we'll see how well he does.
Yep.
That team's got some decent talent on offense.
Well, we should mention too, when I was watching him just kind of march up and down the field, it was with Terry McLaurin. And
Scary
of course,
Terry.
Brian Robinson was getting a lot of the carries. But I did get a headline that Terry McLaurin had to leave the game with a toe injury, so might have to pay attention to that, fantasy owners.
Those turf toes, man.
Dude, toe injuries
They
suck.
can last.
Yeah.
Those will hobble you.
It's unfortunate.
Other quick thing that I saw in the Seattle game, for one thing, Drew Lock looked pretty good.
Yeah, I watched his first game, and he looked really good.
Yeah, he looked pretty good. I always thought that the Broncos needed to give him more of a chance. There's just no hope for him here.
Yeah.
But Jackson Smith and Jigba, I hope that's how you say his last name.
Yeah, that is. They call
he's-
him JSN.
Yeah, he's going to undergo wrist surgery to remove a piece of a broken bone that was in his wrist. They're saying it's not super major. He should be ready to go by the regular season start. So obviously it's only a couple week healing thing.
Yeah.
They're just taking on a little bit of a bone, but I still thought that was a weird thing.
A lot of hype behind that kid, though. Hopefully he can heal up.
Yeah, they're saying like he might be one of the better route runners to have come out, and this was supposedly after the best wide receiver class ever of, what was it, 2020?
I watched Zay Flowers catch a touchdown pass last night, and he caught it and then had like 15 yards after the catch, and he made some good moves to get in the
What's
end zone.
that rookie on the Chiefs, dude? He had like 90 yards. Fucking
Rashee Rice.
Rashee
dude.
Rice. Yeah, he's looking pretty
He's our
good.
secret weapon. Dude. Yeah, we'll get into our teams in a second. Well, a couple of things I want to go real quick is
Let's do it.
Jonathan Taylor
Yes, sir.
had 1,800 yards just 2 years ago, and now the Colts are saying you're fine to go seek a trade.
Yeah,
Crazy,
dude.
dude.
Like I told you, this is all just kind of, it's emboldening the take I had in the ELE, dude.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
just, and the sad thing is, really, when you boil it down, the Colts are the perfect team to sign a running back to a big deal. If you're gonna roll with Anthony Richardson and you're gonna have him, I mean, let's just say he does really good, at least 3 years before you have to pay him.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do that, great, and it's kind of like a little wait and see. You have up to 5 years. You could effectively pay Jonathan Taylor. I mean, who else do they really have that's a huge market player that they're paying a ton of money to?
I mean, it's on the defense with Darius Leonard.
It's all defense.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like on the offense, they're literally set up to pay him, and it be beneficial to them, because the best thing for a rookie quarterback is a run game that if shit's not going well with him, just fucking feed the rock to that guy. But he's gonna go somewhere else. I think Miami.
Jim
might be it.
Irsay is a guy. You guys, you have stuff in common. He has multiple DUIs.
Yeah,
you don't
I've
have
only
multiple.
got one. I probably
but
should.
He is an owner that is his skeletons are right out there, out the closet.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about him, and
He also is a very affluent instrument collector.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
He actually has like a band that he plays with. That
No way.
Yeah, dude. That
Oh
is
my
full
God.
of like a bunch of like dudes, like Kenny Aronoff, the guy who played with John Cougar Mellencamp back
Holy
in the
shit.
day, is his drummer, and then he has like guys come in and like play guitar and stuff. It's wild.
That's great. He's an eccentric guy.
Yeah, he's
man.
got like
Very
some
eccentric.
of like the most expensive guitars ever in his collection.
Oh.
But either way, yeah.
He is notorious for talking about his players like their property, and so it makes sense that he would just kind of be fine with letting Taylor go. He was the one that recently said in a really crass way that after their careers are done, him and Taylor's, no one's going to remember their name. It's like,
Yeah, he basically
damn,
said
dude.
the NFL is going to go on. Yeah,
But-
I mean, you look at the way they handled Peyton.
Yeah.
I mean, Peyton.
That's a great
They
point.
basically just were like, "Nah, we're just going to roll with Andrew."
nuts,
Which,
man.
I mean, they were technically right to do so, but then they just beat Andrew Luck to death.
They did, yeah. Well, and didn't give him a line, so he got sacked like 70
Yeah.
times a year.
I think wasn't it Von Miller that ruptured his spleen? I think somebody. I
Oh,
think it
yeah,
was
probably.
one of the Broncos.
Yeah, could have
But
been.
either way,
Who do you think he might end up? Like,
I
where
think,
do you think
I
he'll
think
go?
Miami, but the thing I was thinking about, like, what if he goes somewhere like Chicago?
Why
I could
would that
see
be
that
surprising?
I just wouldn't be surprising, but I could just see Jonathan Taylor in Chicago with Justin Fields. Like, could you imagine
That could
the
be good.
amount of rushing
They
yards
have a lot
would
of cap
have?
space to pay him maybe $6 million
Dude,
or
they
something
had
like
like
that.
the most cap space and the most picks.
Let me give you two that I think might be like a really
my other one's
scary
Miami.
fit. Miami, yeah, I could definitely say it because we all knew that they were in on Dalvin Cook. The Cowboys and the Bills.
Oh, I did hear about the Cowboys.
Because Tony Pollard can't do that by himself.
Yeah, I have one hot take here, and I've been wanting to use this for a
like
little
it.
bit, but
Yeah.
I think the Bills' window is closed.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow. That is a really hot take.
here it is.
That's a hot take.
Damn, Chris.
Ooh, you nasty!
That was a
you
hot
nasty.
take. The Bills are going to be mad. You're going to have Bills Mafia.
That would
coming
be
at you.
my hot take though. I do feel like just like with the shit that's happening with them, like they could be on the decline. But yeah, the Bills would be a scary place. But you're right. Imagine Pollard and Jonathan
That would
Taylor.
be-
Whew.
yeah, I could really
One
see
hell of
them
a
going
1-2
in
punch
on
right
that.
there.
They need to.
Definitely. What else do you got? You got anything else?
Jimmy Graham.
The incident.
That's crazy. Then we'll get into our teams just for a little bit.
Okay.
But dude, so if nobody noticed, in the news, Jimmy Graham got stopped and somewhat arrested by the police, but kind of just detained because they thought he was under the influence of something because he was wandering in traffic. But when I looked through and read the article, it comes to find out like they took him to the hospital and the team doctor met him at the hospital, and the team announced that he had a seizure. And if nobody knows anybody that might have been epileptic, I had my buddy Kyle Billingsley. I woke up one time when we were all partying in Kansas City, and we all witnessed it. And it is a crazy thing, and they are very disoriented afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hearts out to you, Kyle. What's up? Shout out, Kyle
Shout
B.
out Kyle B.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like it makes sense, but damn, it is kind of crazy.
Yeah, dude, the only time I've ever seen somebody actually have a seizure is my buddy Kenny Ludwig. Shout out Kenny Ludwig. I know you're watching. Just kidding. I know you aren't. We were at our buddy's house, and we were doing nefarious things like partaking in the ganja.
Whoa.
And we get up to leave is this guy's apartment. And we're all walking out, and my buddy Kenny's in front of us, and there's like those like slatted like closet doors on the hallway out. Like then the doors right to leaves right here. There's like these slatted closet doors right there.
Uh-huh.
All of a sudden, my buddy Kenny's just like. And just like falls through
Whoa.
the fucking doors, and then he's laying there on the ground. He's like, and I was like,
That's a
Kenny,
good
I was
impression.
like, get up, dude. I was like, you just fucked up this guy's closet. What are you doing, dude? And he just kept doing it, and then we were all like, oh fuck, I think
Dude,
something's
you
wrong.
felt like an asshole. Telling him to get up after having a seizure. What's
Get
wrong
up,
with you,
pussy,
man?
walk it off, dude.
Jesus.
I didn't know he had a seizure. I've never seen somebody have
fucking
a
crazy.
seizure before. It was fucking
Yeah.
yeah, I did feel like a total asshole.
He gets up and he's like, fuck you, Chris.
Well, then you're right. He did get up, and then he was all out of it, and then he turned white as a ghost and puked all over the guy's apartment.
Whoa.
And this was not like a friend. This was like an
just like a
acquaintance
guy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. We might have been going there to purchase the things that we
I
were
see.
partaking in.
Did he get mad about all that happening?
Kind of.
Damn.
But at the same time, you're like, the dude just like had a
Yeah, you can't really
seizure.
control
You
a
can't-
seizure. It's not just
You
like
can't like beat him up.
throwing
over
up
it.
because you're drunk.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
God, I forgot about that.
But yeah, dude, Jimmy
Anyways.
Graham's 36 years old. So, I mean, this could be...
It is crazy that he's that old, man.
Yeah, you don't see tight ends
And
playing
he just
that
signed
long.
with who? It was
The Saints.
again. Yeah.
They got Juwan Johnson there. Remember him?
Yep.
That dude's good.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere last year, but
Yep.
yeah, it's a strange story, and then it also leads to like, man, maybe he's already got like CTE all bad.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm
So-
afraid of. Well, let's get off that note because that's dark and
Yeah.
probably true. So,
I've got one more thing. Oh, let's go through our teams real
Yeah.
quick. What do you feel about the Chiefs?
I feel
You shouldn't
really
have
good
too
about
much
it.
to say.
Granted, it was I mean, I could go on forever. You know that. It was the Cardinals, a team that you guys just recently lost to.
Yeah.
But
Well, our kickers missed like fucking 5 field goals, but
yeah,
you know what are you
can't
gonna do?
have that. It was just great because if you look at like the box score, they threw 18 different receivers, caught passes. Patrick Mahomes completed catches to 9 different receivers. All 4 of our quarterbacks, I don't think they had a passer rating lower than 110. Blaine Gabbert, who sucked on the Bucs whenever he had to go in, look, it's just preseason, granted, but I mean, it's what you should do. You should go out there and, lay the wood and everything. And what gave me some promise was that the wide receivers, that's what I was really looking at. Justin Ross caught a touchdown pass, Justin Watson. Our wide receiver group, it's so hilarious hearing guys on ESPN or different naysayers be like, oh, who do the Chiefs have as number one? They're going to use Kadarius Toney. I am not worried. We're going to have an arsenal this year. So, yeah.
Chiefs are looking good. The Broncos, they did lose again. But, again, it's, I think they had the lead before everything.
Who are they playing again?
They were playing the fucking
49ers. Did you see the brawl up in the stands? Oh, shit, dude. I thought you had saw this. Yeah, I guess I think it was 49ers fans that started. But you don't want to fuck with people in the Mile High.
That's right. It wasn't here, though.
Oh,
okay.
It was
in Levi.
That's where I guess I was wrong. There's a big fight up in the stands.
Yeah, so I mean, the offense looked better. Russell, I guess my thing for me was I want to see signs that Russell isn't completely lost everything physically. Yeah, and I think I saw that. And I think now it's just them working out the offense stuff. Again, they're still super thin. They've got some issues. They might be signing Will Lutz now.
Dude, he was good for the Saints. So yeah, really good.
Might be signing him to compete with Marr. I think the kickers could possibly be a revolving door. But, I'm not going to sit here and try and tell you that the Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, like I said before, they'll be lucky. Their ceiling would be a wild card.
You know what I don't understand why teams don't do? And I know we talk about the replacements all the time. But why don't they find one of these soccer players? It could even be in the MLS or something like that. A guy that just got cut by a league. But this guy can kick. And be like, listen, we're going to just train you. You're not even on the team yet. But we're just going to sign you. And then just work you out and just get you to kick a football. You don't have to run. It's not like soccer at all. Why isn't that more of a common thing?
Well, there has been a few, and a lot of these kickers were soccer players.
Oh, I know.
There's a guy who I think he just got out of the Euro League in terms of the soccer. Is it Harry Kane? I think he just came to the MLS. I can't remember, but he was saying when he retires from soccer, he'd like to try and become a kicker because he's like, I feel like I can do it. And there's a lot of those rugby guys too that have come over. There's been a few Australian dudes that have been kickers. But yeah, I don't know. What are you gonna do? Yeah. But that's all. I mean, that's really it. Two other things, real quick. I wanted to talk about. CJ Okoye, a 21-year-old defensive lineman from Nigeria, recorded a sack in his first organized football game, and that game just so happened to be the Los Angeles Chargers' 34-17 victory over the Rams. The reason this is, I guess, kind of a crazy story is he came here through the NFL's International Pathway Program, which was established in 2017 to increase the number of international players in the league.
That's cool.
He'd shown enough to be allocated to an NFL team, but he hadn't played organized football before. So, I mean, this might be like the beginning of the Europeans invading the NBA.
I hope so. Yeah, that'd be great.
It brings me to the next thing, which I just saw today. Hidatora Hamada, 2020 gold medal finish. We had a 2020 gold medal finish in the World Games in sumo. Came to CSU. So now we're seeing even sumo guys.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the sport they got a lot of similarities.
Yeah,
a lot of crossover.
But let's move on to the NBA. Unless you've got something else for the NFL.
The only thing was Jadeveon Clowney signed with the Ravens. No big deal. We just want to cover that real quick.
He did. He's got a home again. Yeah. But let's get into the NBA.
Take it roll. Take it roll. Outlet. Rain dance.
Rain dance.
T, come on. I'm burning. I know you're burning.
Never gets old.
It doesn't. I love it every time. But there's not too much in the NBA this week. We really have two things for you.
Yeah.
One involves FIBA, and one involves a guy with a beard.
A guy that a good word for this is what I like to call Schadenfreude. It was actually Josh
Schadenfreude.
that taught me about this word. I think it's a German word.
It is. It means like
enjoying in another one's displeasure.
Yeah, or demise or something like that.
Either
Same
one of
thing,
those words work. And we both don't like James Harden.
No.
We don't like what he did to the league with like the whole fouls and all
what
that.
he did to Houston.
Yep, what he did to Houston and Brooklyn and all that. He's a crybaby. And he got fined $100,000.
Which sadly isn't that much to him, probably.
But to
it's
us,
still
it's a lot.
Yeah, to us, I'm like, I got to work 2 years for that, basically.
Yeah, and to them, like a $40,000 fine is a lot. That NFL player just got $40,000 for a total legal hit. That was fucking.
Oh,
nuts.
I saw that
On the
I forgot who it
Steelers.
was.
Yeah. But so 100,000 is quite a bit, and he basically said, we covered it last week, that he was calling Daryl Morey, the president there at the Sixers, a liar.
I guess that was part of it, but what they are really mad about is the fact that he said he wasn't going to honor his player. What is it? Basically like what he's supposed to do as a player in his contract. He said, I'm not going to do anything basketball related for them.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they mainly stemmed from, but.
I think this is good. Honestly, when I saw it, I think it's great that Adam Silver is trying to put his foot down and not let these players take control of the league. With Durant forcing a trade and all these guys trying to force trades and force what they want. They got to understand, you sign a contract. You need to honor that contract.
Yeah, so his wallet is a little bit lighter this week, and that's on him. So,
well, he did just sell all those. What was it, in China or something? He just sold fucking something. It's like a product that he makes. I can't remember what it is now. But
well, good for him.
Yeah.
But let's get into FIBA.
Yeah.
The FIBA
coming
tournament.
Up.
We got the basically the preseason, the exhibition games going on. And USA goes 5-0.
They do. Yeah, last game, Anthony Edwards led them with 34 points and a comeback win over Germany. And Germany's not, an easy feat, so it's good to see them kind of starting to gel.
Yeah, Germany is definitely expected to basically medal. They went 4-1 in an exhibition with a big win over Canada, and like you said, Anthony Edwards was definitely a star. He was also the energy behind the 16-minute scoreless run they had in the fourth to bring them back to beat Germany. So everybody was kind of saying Anthony Edwards kind of pulled like a Michael Jordan back in the day. In terms of
just leading his team,
like leading the international team type stuff. Yeah.
Well, I did see what he said because he's wearing number 10, and he was like, "Yeah, I can't, wearing number 10, you've got a reputation to uphold." And it was like Kobe, Kyrie, and another dude that has worn number 10. So it's like,
maybe it was Kobe in the FIBA days. I think it was Kobe. They were comparing him to, not Jordan.
I saw Kobe's overall record in international play, and it's like 36-0.
That's fucking nuts.
That's so crazy, dude.
He was real good, and I like that he could talk shit to people in other languages.
That was awesome.
Hilarious. And he was talking shit to that Spanish dude.
He's a fucking legend, man.
Well, let's get into. Or you got one more thing?
Well, I just want to give people a heads up.
Oh, that's right, on the FIBA game.
I, just kind of have seen the preseason going for FIBA, and I never knew when it was going to start. So just give our listeners a heads up. The official real games and bracket starts this Friday, and the U.S. will take on New Zealand on Saturday. This upcoming Saturday, the 26th.
So this Saturday, you can watch some FIBA action. It's happening.
Not sure where, but it'll be easy to tune in. Probably
ESPN.
It's
probably going to be on ESPN or ABC or something like that.
Yep.
Because they both own each other.
Of course, you got some F1 to talk about.
I do. Let's get into the F1. Because it's back. That's right. F1 is back from the summer break this weekend with the Dutch Grand Prix. It kicks off Friday with the first practice, and then Saturday there is 2 more practices along with qualifying. But then on Sunday, Chad, you've got to get up early again. It's a 7 a.m. start
Holy
on the
shit,
race.
7 a.m. That's early.
So the questions will be answered. Will Red Bull continue their dominance? Will they run the board on the races?
Well, let's see. And will Verstappen win his Versus
if he wins this next
it'd be
one,
9 or 10.
it'd be 9 in a row, and I think he'll tie Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah,
and then he'll pass him on the next one.
Yep.
So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting.
text me and wake me up when it's going on.
I will. The crazy thing is going to be to see what shakes out behind him, because we basically already know that Red Bull's going to win, but who's going to kind of finish in second and third? Is it going to be Mercedes? Is it going to be Ferrari? So that's going to be the real race, unfortunately, since Red Bull's just so far ahead.
We already know Max is going to wrap it up.
Yeah, Max is going to fucking seal the deal here in a little bit. So
nice. 7 a.m.
7 a.m. Sunday. If you're up early and looking for something to do, there's a good 2-hour race to watch. So
cool.
And like I always say, it's chock full of fun shit to watch while it's going on. So on that note, again, that's twice this episode. No more, Chris. No more. You've reached your limit on that note.
You're only saying it 4 times. That's
Let's
it.
get into the NHL.
There's a tugboat coming.
Tugboat's here, pulling into the bay. In the NHL, Tampa Bay Lightning have signed forward Brandon Hagel to an 8-year contract extension, carrying an annual average value of $6.5 million. The deal will start in 2024-25 season at the expiration of his current $1.5 million deal. Hagel will turn 25 on Sunday, and he was set to become a restricted free agent this summer. He had a slow start in Tampa, scoring just 7 points in the 2022 regular season and 6 points in the team's run to the 22 Stanley Cup Finals. But this past season, Hagel's first full campaign in Tampa, he showed why the Lightning surrendered 2 first-round picks and 2 young players in order to acquire him. He scored 30 goals and 64 points in 81 games, delivering consistent offensive quality in a top 6 role. So they locked down what should be basically the next decade of their, continued dominance, because Tampa just seems to always be right there sniffing the Stanley Cup playoffs. So we'll see how that works out for Tampa. And then another one for the Colorado Avalanche, as Cale Makar was voted the best defenseman in the NHL. At 24 years old, he now has the Norris Trophy, the Conn Smythe Trophy, a Calder Trophy, as well as the Stanley Cup trophy to add to his trophy room. And he's also now the cover athlete, like we said last week, for NHL 24. And now he is the best defenseman in the NHL, and the comparisons to Bobby Orr are running rampant. We'll see. Makar averaged 0.69 goals a game, but it's his overall play that has him in talks for the best defenseman maybe ever. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, at 24 years old, most of these guys play into their late 30s, so we'll see what happens.
Hopefully he's got a long career ahead of him.
Long career ahead of him and a lot more trophies to add to that case. So that's it for the NHL. You don't have anything, right, Chad?
Nope.
You're just slacking on the NHL like I do on the MLB.
We got our different facets.
Yeah, we've got to, there's too much to cover.
That's what I'm saying.
We're all over the place.
All right.
So should we get into golf? You want to do golf next?
Let's hit it, man.
Let's do it, golf.
Son of a bitch, Paul, why didn't you just go home? That's your home. Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
Get to your home.
The opening scene of that movie, when Tuesday's Gone with the Wind is playing, is like one of the better opening sequences to a movie.
Are you talking about when he has hockey practice and he's losing his shit?
No, it's like the very beginning of the movie when they're kind of showing like all like the family photos, and it's like Tuesday's Gone with the Wind is playing in the background, and then I think it kind of cuts into that stuff.
Yeah,
I just always really like that in opening sequence, but. What do you have for golf, Chad? Because I slacked on golf this week. I was working and then sleeping in on Sunday.
Well, Sunday I was doing some yard work, and then I went and organized the garage, and so I put on the BMW Championship, and it's nuts. I think I texted you this yesterday, but I tried to. Have you ever done this where you try to make a bet, and then like the odds change, and it says like bet declined, and then you got to redo it basically because the odds change.
Yeah.
So I originally at like plus 600 odds put just like $2 for Hovland to win it on Friday. And that happened. The bet declined. I was like, all right, fuck it. I guess I'll change it to Scheffler. And it seriously came down to those two guys on Sunday, and then Hovland surpasses them. It was crazy, man, because I'm in my garage watching this, and
you're like, son of a bitch.
And I couldn't be mad because I'm watching Hovland have a record-setting day with the 61 at I can't remember the course right now. That's where I need Adam. But it was the BMW Championship, and it was a FedEx playoff, and man, Hovland just birdied, just went on a tear. The especially the back nine, that's really where he was just hitting them all in. Hit like every fairway, and I think the pressure really got to Scheffler because he had I think a one-stroke lead on the 15th hole, and then it was really like he missed a putt, and that gave Hovland the chance, and Hovland just kept chipping away and eventually surpassed him. And then on the very last hole on 17. Scheffler just needed to, I think, birdie it, and he could have just sealed up the win because Hovland already finished up, and then he just blew a putt.
Just finished him off after that.
It was really entertaining. And then other than that, along with that, Xander Schauffele, that weekend bumps out Brooks Koepka to secure the sixth and final spot for the Ryder Cup.
Oh, damn.
So it's like, however you finish, that's like where your rankings are, and that you earn these points where you finish in these PGA Tour events. And Koepka, I think because he didn't play in as many PGA Tour events, I think the live ones still count, but he just didn't have near as good one. But Scottie Scheffler is the number one guy. He's the captain for the Ryder Cup because he had like almost double the amount of points as the second guy.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So
good weekend of golf. Chris, let's get into some soccer.
Let's do it. We finally did it, guys. We have a soccer bump, so here it is right now.
Everyone bring it in. Who are we? Tigers. What? Tigers. All right, let's break someone's clavicle on 3. 1, 2, 3. Break someone's clavicle.
That's right. That is from the movie Kicking and Screaming featuring Will Ferrell. We now have a whole segment dedicated to Will Ferrell, and he is a bump on our show now for the soccer.
Yeah.
So that is the new soundbite for soccer stuff. So
I think it works, man.
It does. It works great.
Yeah.
Because how many times do broken clavicles happen in soccer?
It should.
On
probably
every single
happen a
foul.
lot. Yeah. But we had some big soccer news come out of Miami.
Inter Miami.
Yep, where Messi just continues the impact he's had on the MLS and helped them win their Leagues Cup, and really exciting fashion at that. If nobody saw it, he hit a goal in the 23rd minute, easing the pressure on Gerard Martino's side after a shaky start to the game. It was a long-range goal. He caught the ball like right in the center kind of court or field, whatever, and then pitch, if you will.
Yeah, the pitch.
Yeah.
They call it the pitch.
Yeah.
God forbid.
Not in
You
the
don't want
US.
soccer. No, it's the pitch here too.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
You don't want. We say nil here in the MLS. Okay,
I see.
it's nil.
Nil. All right.
1-0.
1-0.
Don't you ever forget it.
Well, he juked out a guy right there once he got the ball, and then
Broke
made
his
this
ankles.
amazing kick, and it's just nuts. One thing I thought was really cool about it is after the game when they were given the trophy, he was trying to look for last year's captain. I can't remember the guy's name, but obviously with Messi in there, he's going to be the new team captain, and he wanted him to help them hoist the team trophy up for this. So it's one thing to be the star and rock star of a team like this, but trying to like really keep the team spirit alive and recognize these other guys that he's kind of passed from last year's team and give them the recognition they deserve. I think it says a lot about his character.
Yeah, that is super cool, and it goes to show like he knows that he just showed up and he's bringing all this cool shit. Basically just like a winning team and like culture to Inter Miami, and it's nice to show or to see him show respect to the guy that was there when everything sucked.
Yeah.
That guy deserves it.
And I think we talked about it a few weeks ago where I think it was after their second win or something like that. The team's like celebrating. In the team picture afterwards, he held up the jersey of one of the guys that played on last year's team and was going to play this year, but like tore his ACL.
Oh, I did see
right
that.
at the beginning of the year, and he's the guy holding up that jersey. So I mean, like he's really bringing that that team mentality and recognizing
culture
everybody
shift.
rather than just being
Yeah.
the prima donna. I'm obviously the best soccer player maybe in the world. You know, he's
Definitely in the MLS.
really definitely. Nobody even holds a candle.
But let's jump back real quick to golf because there is one thing. There's some John Daly news. I don't know if you saw him congratulating his friend Ken
I
Duke.
did see that. That was
who
pretty cool.
He won the Shaw Charity Classic this weekend, but John
Yep.
Daly stuck around to give him a hug and kind of
I
congratulate
thought that
him.
was pretty cool.
And then I also saw he was talking about what's the drink again that he has?
Grip it and sip it.
Is it grip? That's like the tagline for it, but it's something.
Yeah, I always forget the name of it.
I posted on there because he showed a video of him drinking it, talking about how it's awesome, and I was like, "When's it coming to Colorado? Because we can't buy it here."
Yeah.
So
Well, hopefully he
I don't know what I'm
answers.
supposed to do. He didn't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to call him.
Yeah.
Have a word with him.
Seriously.
Damn it, John.
We need that drink here, man. Come on now.
But anyways, that was. I just wanted to bounce back to that because there's a little bit of John Daly.
Yeah,
news.
we
But,
got it. We need
um,
it's been a
that's-
while since we talked about
Yeah,
it.
it is. You know, we always got to bring up John Daly whenever he pops into the ether.
Yeah.
So let's get into the MLB.
Let's do it.
Vaughn, a juvenile delinquent in the offseason in his major league debut.
Gonna light your ass up, me.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tries the corner.
Just a bit outside. I want to get into a situation where I can call somebody meat.
Yeah.
I don't. It's like, I just like try and think about like when would I use that?
I wonder how often Charlie Sheen watches Major League. It's like, man, those were the golden
It's like,
days.
man, I had some tiger blood running through my veins.
Dude,
back
did you
then.
listen to the Rob Lowe podcast
With Bert
Segura?
Kreischer?
Or Bert, yeah. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
it
real
was.
good.
That was awesome.
Dude.
Dude, the stories he talked about with
Could
like,
you imagine the ones he can't talk about?
yeah, with Charlie Sheen and Emilio
Yeah.
Estevez and all those guys, like the stuff he was talking about Charlie Sheen, he was like, yep, that sounds about right.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's it. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was pretty fascinating.
It was strange. That's why I started listening to the Bert cast because I do kind of like the
Yeah.
episodes when Bert's the one kind of running things
Mm-hmm. He's off the wall.
because they go a little. Yeah, it's a little
He's
more
pretty
off the
crazy.
rails.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, anyways,
let's get into some MLB
let's get
news.
into a weird story. Wander Franco for the Tampa Bay Rays has been placed on administrative leave following multiple investigations by the MLB as well as now the authorities into his relationship with multiple underage girls back in his home in the Dominican Republic. This started last week, and it was weird. The way they were talking about it was very cryptic, talking about social media posts that they were looking into, but they didn't say why.
Huh.
So it's just like, what could he have said? Like, I was thinking maybe he said some crazy racist shit.
Yeah.
But now, like, once this is now all unfolding, it's like, holy shit, dude. This guy is, like, maybe into some really weird shit. That's like,
it's not good.
you're wild if you're talking about that on social media, for one. Like,
Yeah,
if
that's
that's what you're getting linked to is now multiple underage girls. So
Mm-hmm.
Wander Franco, as of now, just from what people have said, from a little bit of what they've caught from the MLB's investigation, will probably never play baseball again.
Damn.
So he might be going to jail for a while too.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And
Can't
down
do
there,
that.
you never know what happens in the Dominican Republic to people who mess around with kids.
Never
They
gonna
do
see 'em.
crazy things. I mean,
Yeah.
even in prison here, those are the guys who always get beat up.
Yep, that's
But-
what they kind of deserve.
Let's move on to something a little bit different and a
Yep.
little bit cheerier. So we'll see where that goes. But what else do you have, Chad?
I got Julio Rodriguez, man. The story of the MLB right now is the Mariners. They're on a 7-game win streak. They just won last night 14-1 to the White Sox. The White Sox suck, but still putting up 14 runs, and they've just been on such a basically a tear with the whole league recently. The guy I wanted to bring up that's really helped them do this is Julio Rodriguez, who set
Rodriguez.
an MLB record with 17 hits in 4 games.
That's crazy.
Yeah, pretty fucking crazy, man.
He had to be damn near batting 1,000 in those games.
I would think so. I mean,
through-
you think
through that
most
series.
games you get up to about
4
4
to
or 5
5
times a
Yeah.
game. Yeah. The
That's
other
insanity.
Yeah, and I'll get into it here in the standings, but I mean the Mariners are really making a playoff push. That at least they'll get a wild card. We got about, what would that be, 30 maybe games left.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
something like that, 25. And
We're in the last quarter, the last
oh,
stretch.
yeah, down the last stretch. The The other news was the MLB reschedules games because of Hurricane Hillary, the first tropical storm to hit California in 80 years.
Hillary Clinton's back again.
Yeah, watch out.
Guess who's back?
Yeah,
Hillary.
back again.
But it's funny because everybody's talking about like, oh my God, they acted like the world was gonna end, and then it just kind of rained really bad.
Yeah, like I said, I guess it flooded.
But you said there was a
bit.
hurricane.
There was a hurricane. This is why I wanted to bring it up. It was crazy. Sounds like something from like some Sharknado movie.
I was gonna
or
say
something.
Sharknado.
Exactly, you read my mind, dude. But yeah, one of those days where the hurricane was hitting, a 3.8 earthquake hit at the exact same time. So we're looking at the end of times. You guys need to get your end of like your emergency kits, your whatever.
You need to go to the 700 Club and start buying those buckets of supplies.
That's what I was thinking of, yeah. Whatever they sell on all the Fox News things. Yeah. Survival kits.
MREs. I mean, at this point, dude, if a swarm of locusts happens,
I would not be
we're
surprised.
done. I would just be like, fuck it. I'm not going to pay my mortgage anymore.
When an earthquake hits at the same time as a hurricane,
yeah.
I'm just
when
like,
a hurricane,
fuck, dude.
when a hurricane happens, the other day, my brother Sean came running up to me. He's like, dude, fucking Russia just fucking bombed Ukraine, dude. Fucking World War III is happening. And I was like, do I still have to come to work tomorrow? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I really don't care, dude. I'm sorry. Like, is my mortgage still due at the end of the month? I don't give a fuck. Unfortunately, I've got too much shit to worry about. And that makes you an insensitive asshole. But you know what?
It is what it is. Yeah, we've sent a lot of money to Ukraine.
Yeah.
I don't know
Billions.
about that.
Let's not get into that though. What else you got?
I just want to get into the standings, and that'll be it for MLB.
Oh, one more thing though. Well, I guess this will kind of parlay into the standings.
What's up?
It's the Yankees thing. The other one thing I have news-wise before we get into the standings: the Oakland A's have hired the construction firm Mortensen McCarthy, the same firm that built Allegiant Stadium for the Raiders, which. I saw there was an Athletic article that came out that said it ranked the top stadiums in the league. I didn't see where Arrowhead or whatever it's called now, much like in Power Field, is technically Mile High. Mm-hmm. Mile High ranked 9th still, which I thought was crazy, but I think Allegiant Stadium and then I think Allegiance was 1.
Yeah, they were up there.
And then I think 2 was SoFi.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Arrowhead's got to be up there in the top 10.
Well, those are like brand new stadiums.
I know. That's why I was so blown away that the fact that the Broncos were ranked 9. I was like, 9, really?
Yeah.
I mean, they just spend $100 million on the stadium and build it.
I'm excited to see that scoreboard. That's going to be cool. Did I tell you I'm going to the Bears game for the Chiefs? Did I tell you that?
And in
September.
Oh, in Kansas City?
Yeah.
Nice.
My mom won tickets, and so she was like, I know you don't live here, but I don't want to go with anybody else, and so I'm gonna fly back and take her to
you
her
can go with
first
your
Chiefs
mom?
game.
Fuck yeah,
I know. And I'm
cool
gonna go to
shit.
my. She's all
probably
about
gonna
the
be
Chiefs
like,
now.
oh fuck, this is too much. That's what happened with Meryl. She's like, I'll go to a Broncos game, and we went. She's like, this is a lot. And I was like, yeah, you don't really realize that this is like.
It's Pete diehards to go to the
It's
games.
just basically our society's version of gladiators.
Yeah.
So,
but no, my mom loves the Chiefs, so I'm not worried about that. I think it's gonna be a good time. Yep. But,
yeah, that's all I really had. Maybe we'll talk about that article. I don't know if we will by the time next week happens. But let's go through the standings of the MLB, and then we've got to hit the musical break and get Josh on the phone because we're going to have a guest.
We got a new
week.
guest this week.
Josh Harris is going to be talking with us about the OOFs, the UFC.
That's right. All right, in the American League, we got the Baltimore Orioles at 77-47. Down below them, the Tampa Bay Rays, 3 games back. Then the Central Division, Minnesota Twins are still leading that division, 65-60. And then the Guardians, surprisingly enough, they're just 6 games back. I can't believe the Guardians were last like just a month ago.
It's that gargoyle energy.
Yeah,
it's like big dick energy when that was a big thing. Now they've got gargoyle energy.
Big gargoyle energy. Yep.
We all remember the gargoyle show.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Gargoyles, remember that show?
Oh, dude,
good show.
Definitely. Then in the West Division, the Texas Rangers, 72-53. And then the Houston Astros, who we're watching right now, they got a 2-run lead up on the Red Sox. They're 1.5 games back from the Rangers. And then, like I said, the Mariners are just 2 games back from the Rangers. So we got a playoff race, basically a division race in the West Division in the American League. And just real quick, I didn't really cover the last ones, but the Athletics are still last at 35 and 90. They beat the Royals last night.
Well,
Yep.
you're gonna win some.
I would have hit on
even
a
when you're
5
trying
leg
to lose.
Yeah, I would have hit on a 5-leg parlay if it wasn't for betting on the Royals. Like, God, I was like, they're playing the Athletics. Sure, they're gonna win.
It's always the worst when it's your own
Dude.
team that fucks up the
I-
parlay. You fucks.
Made me so mad. I'm like, why do I trust them?
You motherfucks.
And then in the National League, of course, the best team in baseball, the Atlanta Braves, 12.5 games up on the Phillies. And then Central Division, Milwaukee Brewers, 2.5 games up on the Cubs. Then in the West Division, the Dodgers are still first. Now they're 12 games up. That 10-game win streak really launched them. 12 games up on the Giants, and then in last place, yes, the Rockies at 28
Let's
and a half
go,
games.
Rockies. I think they're still on pace to lose 100. We'll see.
Yeah.
I should put money on that at this point.
Well, pay attention to the Diamondbacks, too, because they're just 12.5 games back from the Dodgers, so they're trying to get that wild card spot.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's only 12.5 games.
Well, as long as they pass the Giants, then there's a chance.
Smooth sailing.
Yep. All right, Chris, let's hear some music.
Oh, real quick, though. I did want to bring this up. The Yankees have basically thrown in the towel in the season, which I think is big news in the sense that we talked about it last week.
Was it 1985?
1990.
1990
was the last time that they finished last in the division.
Yep.
They've now called this is when you know it's bad. They've now called up prospects, outfielder Everton Pereira and infielder Oswald Pereza, as they basically they're throwing in the towel in this season.
Yeah.
They're in an 8-game losing streak right now.
What a fall off!
Both these New York
Aaron Judge,
teams
man.
just blowing all this money, and now they both suck balls.
Oh yeah, the Mets. I mean, they're playing the Braves tonight. I put money.
At
on
least the Rockies don't spend that much money. I mean, they spend enough to make people be like, "Oh, they still
kind
they
of
got Chris Bryant. They're paying him like $28 million." I'm like, yeah, but he plays like 30 games a year. But yeah, then you got the Mets paying like a insane luxury tax, and they've basically just traded away all their best players.
Seriously, dude. Baseball's crazy.
It is wild, but now we are at the music break. We have Messiah War for 2 more weeks, this week and next.
Let's hear it.
Yes, sir. The name of this song is The Unkind off of their new album, Transverse. You are hearing it right now as I speak. It comes in a little quiet. It's right there. We'll be right back. Stick around, guys. We really appreciate you as always. See you in a bit.
Forward,
back for the second half of the show. We hope you have made it this far, and if you have, we greatly appreciate you. And also, if you made it this far, hit that subscribe button and make sure to rate us 5 stars.
Hey, we're not going to take a shot at the turn.
No,
but
we're not.
we are going to cheers.
We're doing a cheers of our alcoholic beverages.
Are you out?
No, I'm not. I still got some.
Very good. Well, thank you to that band for being our musical guest.
Messiah Vor.
Thank you.
That song was called The Unkind off of their new album Transverse, which you can find on all things streaming. And if you would like to find out more about Messiah Vor, go to messiahvore.com. That is MESSIAHVORE.com. You can find all of their merch as well as where they're playing next and purchase music directly from them. As we always say, please buy directly from us. It helps us immensely. Let's get on to the show.
All right.
Because we've got the UFC 292 recap coming, but we have a guest.
We do. Hit Mills Lane and then hit call.
Okay, you want me to call? Because he can't hear that.
I know, but
Okay.
we will hear it.
Okay, here. Well, we might hear ringing, so I'm gonna hit it right now.
Let's get it on!
And now we're calling Josh.
All right.
Hey boys, how's it going?
What's up, Josh? Man, how you doing? Chris Zane here.
What's up, Josh?
How's it going? What's up, Chad? How you doing, bud?
Doing good. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on.
Yeah, definitely. So for all our listeners out there, I wanted to have Josh on. I work with this dude, and he's a guy that I feel like sometimes my supervisors look at me and they're like, damn, he needs to get to fucking work. But, when we got a UFC pay-per-view coming up, we got to spend some time breaking it down. So I figured now I'm not going to get in trouble for talking about UFC. We can fucking talk about it all we want.
Yeah, nothing better to talk about, in my opinion.
Yeah,
There
that's
you
right,
go.
dude.
Everybody thinks they know about it, but nobody ever knows what's going to happen. That's what makes UFC so great.
That's true, man.
No, seriously, especially after last weekend, man. I mean, having O'Malley as a plus 210 underdog, I saw that and was like, yeah, let me throw $20 on that. And damn, I made some good money off that weekend.
Yeah, that's a good pick. He had a great fight. The whole card itself was pretty decent, in my opinion.
No, I think so too, man. Like the prelims, we had the Ultimate Fighter fights. Those were good. I just continue to get impressed by these cards because that's why I like watching from even the early prelims, of course, all the way up to the main event. You're going to get entertained.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
So let's break it down to let's start with the main event, man. The big O'Malley. What do you think, dude?
Oh.
How about that fight?
That fight was great. The way O'Malley controlled the distance was absolutely stunning, in my opinion. Aljamain is no slouch, as everybody that watches UFC knows, but he looked lost. It looked like he couldn't get close enough to do anything. I was looking at some of the statistics, and Aljamain landed a total of 17 shots, and 11 of them being a leg kick.
Damn.
So he really, leg kicks are damaging, but it was a total domination, in my opinion, by O'Malley, which quite amazed me myself.
Yeah, did you see his comments when he was asked after the fight? Like, one reporter was like, yeah, did you notice that all three judges had it scored 10-9 for Sterling in the first round? And then you see what O'Malley's response was?
Yeah, the only thing that matters is how the fight ends, right?
He goes, yeah, how did they score in the second round?
Don't matter.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, yeah, they can
about it
score
all
it however they want. But, I mean, yeah, if he's going to get that. And it's like Chris and I talked about last week, and you said the same thing at work, if he's going to get the win, it's going to be through knockout and TKO. And he sure enough fucking did.
Yeah, and Aljo usually don't finish a fight unless it's by some sort of choke. You don't really got the striking power. But it's crazy to think where O'Malley goes after this, to tell you the truth. I don't know. After a performance like that, you can't give Aljo his rematch right away, I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, that's what I guess he's asking
I think they
for.
will, though. Because you want to continue the trilogy. You want to start like a trilogy. That's where the money is, especially if you can get the belt going back and forth. But go ahead, man.
If you're looking at it for the money thing, I think the UFC would want O'Malley to hold on to it a little bit. He's a lot
I think so
easier
too.
to sell, you know.
Yep.
Aljo, great fighter. Can't take nothing away from the guy, but he's not a crowd bringer, man.
Yeah, Sterling really isn't. He's not a good, he's just not really exciting. I mean, I give him, it's like what you and I've talked about, Josh. Like, we are avid UFC fans where most casual fans don't really like that Aljo style where they're just going to back control and wrestle. But I got a lot of respect for that. But when it comes to getting pay-per-view buys and getting the ratings, he doesn't have a draw for that. And he doesn't really have that personality that's going to get the draw either. But we know that O'Malley, after the fight, said he wanted Cheeto, and Cheeto won. Marlon Vera, who we talked about last week. So we also have a couple of other guys that's in that division with Merab and then Sandhagen. Which ones do you think they give it to?
I would really like to see the Sandhagen fight.
Me too.
That would be a really good fight stylistically.
The ultimate chess match. Both long, lengthy guys, both with the power. And for a fan, that's what I'd like. The UFC is going to do what they do. But I would like to see Merab and Henry Cejudo go at it.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah, two really good wrestlers.
Yeah, well, Henry called out O'Malley after the fight. I saw that.
Yeah.
He's just calling out everybody.
Would be a great deal. I think that one plays into O'Malley's hand, though, because Aljo had a hard time getting in there, and Henry's even smaller than Aljo.
Cejudo didn't just get dismantled, though. I would say give him a chance, but he didn't do too well in his last fight.
Yeah,
I would love to watch the Henry Cejudo lead up, man. The King of Cringe is fun to watch.
He is the King of Cringe. Have you seen where he has pillows of all of these different fighters, like their faces on the pillows, right? Like what is up with that, man?
He sleeps with all of them.
He's a weird guy.
He's terrible at trash talking, but it's fun to watch.
It is, man. It's entertaining. I hear they've got him paired up with somebody else, right? Oh, I think maybe Umar. I think when Umar Nurmagomedov is healthy, I think they're going to pair him up against him maybe. Or Merab, I've heard that. But I'm with you, dude. I would really like to see Sandhagen because we've seen Sandhagen just recently kick the shit out of Marlon Vera. And Sandhagen just won his last fight a couple weeks ago. Wasn't that...
It was the last...
Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Night. But, I mean, I think he deserves it.
I would like to see it, too.
But
either way, that division always has been, always I think will be probably the lead division. There's so many killers in it.
There it is. Always... I think that in the lightweight division for sure.
Let me ask you guys one thing though. What did you feel about the stoppage? Because there has been some controversy.
I'm glad you brought that up.
About whether or not it was too quick of a stoppage.
I didn't see anything changing. I thought I seen him go out for a second and then he popped back into it. I thought it was a good stoppage. I don't like to see anybody get extra damage.
Yeah. It was Mark Goddard that was the ref, and when I first watched it, I was just so happy that O'Malley won. I didn't really care, but then when they showed the replay, I was kind of a little worried about the stoppage. And then after watching the third replay, you see where Sterling rolls over, and when somebody rolls over and doesn't protect their head, that's when it should be stopped. Because how many times when we see someone get clocked, they roll over and they protect their head, they can kind of cradle up in the fetal position almost, and then maybe roll out of that. But when he rolled over and wasn't protecting his head, that's when I was fine with the stoppage.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Agree.
But, man, you got to hand it to O'Malley. For a guy that has just risen to fame after having Snoop Dogg call his contender fight, and then now you got to admit you see a lot of similarities between him and at least how him and Conor handle that pressure and the hype behind him, because this is his biggest fight, and he wasn't nervous walking in there. He didn't go crazy when he won. He wasn't even just like losing it, doing backflips and just stuff like that. He kind of expected this to happen, and he admitted that this was probably the most nervous he's been for a fight, and to handle it like that and have a counter punch TKO very similar to Conor, it's like parallel universe shit, man.
Yeah, I think their paths are a lot different.
O'Malley,
he played his career very smart, where he didn't jump into the top dogs until he got the contract he thought was fair.
Yep.
So he has a lot of highlights if you watch it. They're against lesser competition. I ain't gonna say they're not, but
man, they're fun to watch though.
Until you're getting paid big dog money, why are you gonna take that risk?
Yeah, I don't blame him one bit. And You know, it's weird. It's really weird. I don't think I've brought it up, but he's not like typically. You know, he's like friends with Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's not typically.
They have the same hair.
He's friends with Jake Paul. You know, he's not typically a guy that. And I know I've heard you say this, Josh. Like a guy that like we would get behind, but with him being such a sniper, like, dude, I gotta respect him, man.
Yeah, he's a very likable character. He brings new life into the sport. It's nice to see. It's obviously takes it serious. It's his life that he's putting on the line when he goes in there, but he kind of has fun with it all. Have you ever listened to his podcast, him and his trainer?
No, I haven't. I think I've seen a few clips. Yeah, but not the whole podcast.
Pretty funny characters.
Oh, I bet so. Yeah, because I've watched him go on like Theo and do the Brendan Schaub like food truck thing, and yeah, he's really easy to talk to. It looks like where he's got a good story, and I'm a big basketball fan, so I just think like when he does like those talking shit moves in the octagon, like acting like he's dribbling and swishing, like that's gangster, man. That's so gangster.
Yeah, he's entertaining for sure.
I guess that was the kind of weird thing about this fight, though. It's kind of like you were alluding to earlier with him, just like the way he handled the win and even just up to the fight. I saw like a couple of pictures clipped together. It was him during the walking out, and his eyes are closed. He's like super zen, and then by the pre-fight, he's like super zenned out. And then even after he won, he's standing there waiting to get announced, and his eyes are closed the same exact way. So it's definitely a different way for him to handle it, being the character that he is. But I mean, with the shit going on with Conor McGregor, we need another character now. So
that's a good point.
And Colby Covington's, not the character we all want.
As much as we're bragging about O'Malley too, the way Sterling handled his loss, man, that's the class act.
That's a really good point.
Give O'Malley his roses, which I admire. They all talk stuff leading up to the fights, but it's a professional deal. I like to see the class act.
Yeah, and for him to post that picture afterwards, which was him and his team and his girlfriend, and it was just like, win or lose, this is all I need. Like that's what you like to see. That's one reason we always
what all
respect.
Say.
Good point.
But with skills, he'll be back in for the title fight eventually.
Oh yeah, he'll for sure get another shot.
He showed a lot of like humble attitude where he said, "Man, if I get clipped like this, what I couldn't imagine what Volk could do."
Yeah,
that was
when
awesome.
He said that, I was just picturing it. Volk hits a ton harder than O'Malley.
Oh, dude, Volk is a shark in there, man.
Yeah. Well, I think with Aljamain too, he was the one talking all the shit before the fight. He was the one with the bigger mouth the whole way up to it. So
he really was.
It sucks to get humbled like that.
They got John Jones as the pound for pound, but I'd say Volk has to be.
I agree.
Pound for pound.
Yeah, I totally. Yeah, Volk. I mean, we're seeing greatness right now, man. I mean, he's moving himself up there in the GOAT conversation for sure. But let's go ahead and get into the co-main event, dude. I want to talk about this domination that we saw.
Every aspect of fighting.
It's not too much to talk about on that one.
Yeah. But I think one thing is just the stats really from it. Zhang Wei Li versus Amanda Lemos, and Zhang won in easy fashion.
Yeah, totally dominated. 296 total strikes for Wei Li to only 29 for Lemos. So
yeah.
And then not to mention, she took her down in every one of the rounds to the ground. So Wiley definitely just dominated this whole fight.
It's always a scary thing when the announcers sit there and start talking about how durable and tough Lemos is, because that only means one thing:
getting your ass kicked.
Yeah, that's manhandles. And
you're right. You got to hand it to her.
That punch that Zhang landed in the 5th round was one of the hardest punches I've heard in a female fight.
Yeah.
And it didn't even knock Lemos out, which, again, it kind of just goes to show her resolve to just keep fighting and for it to go the distance, especially after just getting your ass kicked.
I'm glad you brought that up,
single round.
Yeah, because when we talked about it at work, Josh, we were just in so much praise of Wei Li, we didn't even really get a chance to kind of give the flowers to Lemos for even just surviving. I mean, I just kept thinking, like, when is Wei Li going to finish this? And sure enough, I mean, Lemos survived all 5 rounds. Didn't look pretty.
If you can knock Wei Li for anything, if she'd never attempted a submission to end the fight or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like she had to.
No.
She has 100% control.
The only
Laying
time
ma-
she almost didn't have control was when Lemos almost got her with that Darce choke at one point. But she never had it locked in. But other than that, I mean,
that was the 34 seconds of control time that she had the entire fight. 34 seconds, man.
right there. That was it.
But it's not like Wei Li was just laying on her, because you see some of these fights and they'll just lay and not do damage.
Yeah.
The whole time she was on the ground, she was just knees to the ribs looked terrible. That looked like that hurt bad.
I mean, we were talking about it last week when she basically just squatted Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
she's built like a tank, man.
every time I see her, she's like adding new wrinkles. Because when Rose beat her the second time, Rose out wrestled her, and I don't think that would be the case at this point.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what I was going to say is, like, I don't really see any holes in her game at this point, man. Like, we saw early in her career, especially in that legendary fight with Joanna, she was more of a striker back then, and now she's added a lot more kickboxing. She's added some ground game. She's added some jiu-jitsu, a lot better takedown defense. I don't really see anybody taking her, giving her a challenge. And I don't know if you're aware of this lady. Josh, you recommended me to the podcast Morning Combat. They brought up Tatiana Suarez.
Yes, that's the only challenge I see in that division in the whole top 10 that's even worthy of their chance at this point.
Yep, I would like to see that fight, because we talked about it. They did confirm on that podcast that Thug Rose, Colorado represent, whoop whoop, yep, is going to move up to featherweight. What I always forget the fucking women's divisions, but the weight above her.
Yeah,
yep.
Another
stat. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know if Tatiana is ready for that challenge at this point. She's only 11-0. I think she's had 4 fights in the UFC.
Oh yeah, that ain't too much. I'm not too familiar with her. I think I've watched one fight of hers, but I couldn't recall it too much. But yeah, I don't really see it. Yeah, and then we got obviously like the rematch with Shevchenko and then all that, and we'll get into that. We'll might have to have you on whenever we preview and stuff again. But one stat that they brought up on that Morning Combat was nuts, because we know the final stat of 296-29,
which isn't just insane.
I think was a record for that women's division, if not maybe the whole women's overall. But after 3 rounds, I know you guys saw the graphic. Zhang Wei Li had 157 significant strikes to 9 to 9 by Lemos, dude. Like, come on, man.
That's just getting picked apart and just annihilated.
Yeah.
Well, and I think you might see the type of domination out of Wei Li as you see out of Volkanovski, because once she's fully well-rounded, I don't know how you beat that.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Amanda Nunes, man. I think she's like, after you have that loss, because Amanda Nunes didn't go undefeated, in her early career. She had a couple losses, and then she bounced back and then went just on a complete reign. And I think you're right. I think now that we see such a well-rounded Zhang Wei Li, I mean, dude, I was telling Chris last week, man, like I had originally Lemos picked, and I'm glad I didn't, because I beat your ass in DK. Yeah.
You got on that one.
Yeah, I did, man.
He'll get you back. Don't worry.
That's where it goes. Yeah. It always goes back and forth. But I originally had Lemos picked, and then when in UFC Countdown they show Wei Li kicking the bag, I swear it reminded me of Bloodsport, dude. It was just Bloodsport the whole way. I'm like, I can't pick against this.
For her legs, man, her legs are thick.
Yeah, she's got running back legs.
Tree trunks.
What do you think about this crazy idea? What if she went up and fought the winner of Valentina and Alexa Grasso?
Which is definitely going to be Valentina. I don't see Grasso beating her twice.
Yeah, I didn't see her beating her the first time either.
Yeah, that was shocking.
I'm sure Valentina, she was so dominant that she probably walked into that fight just thinking she was going to blow through it. That's why you fight the.
Yeah, I mean, Grasso really kind of found a hole in her game with that kind of move to get her into that kind of chokehold and stuff. But yeah, if it is Valentina, I think that would be a super fight. I don't think we've seen a super fight like that in the women's division since maybe Cyborg and Amanda, maybe. Like, I think that would be a pay-per-view or draw for the ages. I really like that idea. I would love to see it. And honestly, I could possibly see Zhang winning that, dude.
But I wouldn't count either of them out of that fight.
Yeah. I mean, she trains over there in Thailand, and when you just train there at like Tiger Kickboxing, you're basically eat, sleep, and breathing fighting. That's all there is.
And there's so much high quality talent over there to train with.
Oh,
And
yeah. All you got over
videos
there is
of
killers.
with some guys. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was super entertaining. And then just want to touch on it real quick. What do you think after these next two fights, the Ian Gary fight and Weidman fight? I think I texted a few people and I was like, I think this is seriously the leg kick night, like the night of the leg kicks.
Yeah.
Like Chris Weidman, dude. Oh man, how bad is his?
What a
leg
shitty
look
comeback.
like?
That
Oh my
sucks.
god, I felt bad for that dude.
I felt terrible. You know, Weidman's gonna go down as almost a legend in the sport. You know, he took out probably one of the greatest of all time in Anderson Silva.
Yeah,
Daddy
It was
long
really
legs.
tough. It was really tough to watch him be completely enabled.
it really
know,
was.
once-
You know, every time he tried putting weight on it, you know, it looked like he was gonna fall.
Well, I even think before Brad. Well, congratulations to Brad. What a good strategy.
Yeah,
And you know, he's from Hawaii, and Hawaii's dealing with all their controversy right
That's a
now.
good point.
So I'm sure
Yeah,
Yeah.
shout
his
out
head-
Maui.
place, you know, and thoughts with his family or whatever. But Ian Weidman, before his leg got chewed up, he was enabled from recovering from his other leg getting snapped.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it-
39 years old. It's
Jeez.
tough to watch.
It's just
somebody-
crazy that happened when he was 36.
Yeah.
You know, 3 years ago, he finally comes back and then just gets his leg annihilated. And they're saying he might have suffered a ligament tear.
Damn.
Could have been an ACL.
I don't ligaments don't get damaged with that, because Tavares was chopping at him hard. Those are brutal leg kicks. Every
And
time he landed it, you heard it through the TV.
Oh yeah, and he didn't show any mercy on it too. I don't know if I was telling Chris about this before the podcast, but he had a statement on it, and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, I hate to see the result of it, but that was my intent, is to hurt him. You know, it's the fight game, you
Yeah.
know." And so I guess
At
like
the end of the day, I'm supposed to immobilize this guy.
that's what he was supposed to do, and so he was basically bolstering the fact that like he did want to go in there and target his legs, and I can't blame him for one bit, you know. When
Strategy.
when quarterbacks maybe get like a little injury or something, D linemen are going to be targeting that.
That's why in the NHL, it's upper and lower body injuries. You
Yep.
don't get specifications.
That's true.
Yeah. When
Won't
you get
be
to
any
this level,
targeting.
you take any advantage you can. At 39, going on 40, I hate to say it, but I'd like to see him hang it up. It kills me to watch these guys not being able to hang it up and just take unnecessary damage. Walking away, a two-time champ, been in there with the best of the best.
It's because they don't get paid enough, man.
Off to-
That's what it boils down to, I think. Like, if these guys made more money, I don't think they would have to feel like they need to fight into their 40s.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another story for another day, unfortunately.
Yeah. That is
I'm a fan of the fight. I don't get into the politics of it. You know,
Yeah.
which they could get more money, but it is the way it is.
Well, when you see the pay-per-view numbers, you feel like they should.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, we always fight with it that they definitely deserve more money and everything, but we're beating a dead horse there.
Definitely. Let's move into something else real quick, because not only is Josh very informed on the UFC, he's also in the fantasy league.
He is.
And how are you feeling about it so far?
What's the 101, Chris?
What was that?
101 is how I'm feeling.
What?
Who's the 101, and I'll tell you how I'm feeling.
Who's the 101?
Uh-huh.
What's that mean?
What do you mean?
Who's the number one pick?
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
I know.
So we're looking literally. Chris has got 1, Josh, you got 2, and I got 3. We
Yeah.
could just decide who we're going to take right now. Who are you going to take?
Yeah, I don't know yet. Maybe Garrett Wilson. I don't know. Maybe
Garrett
I'll switch
Wilson.
things up, dude. You mean
Garrett
Devontae
Wilson would be the
2.0?
Yeah.
What are you going to take, Josh?
I'm
Are you
in
going to do Chase or McCaffrey?
At the 102, I was going to take Kelsey, so all these Chiefs fans in this.
I like it, dude.
Do it.
Group.
Do it.
Throw a
root
wrench in
against
everybody's
Kelsey
playing tight
every
end.
game.
First round.
Have you
It'd
been
just be
mocking
funny to
on
watch them all squirm.
what's that?
It'd be funny to watch all these Chiefs fans squirm about Kelsey scoring.
It is shitty when he
The best
scores
would
against
be
me.
if you could somehow snag Mahomes and Kelsey,
It's possible.
and you just fucking shit all over the Chiefs guys because there's a bunch of them in there.
Well,
And
I was trying to count it out. I know we
We're
got an
pretty
Eagles
even.
fans. Yeah, it is Eagles. I feel like there's 4 Broncos, 4 Chiefs fans, maybe only 3 Chiefs fans, I think. And then Eagles, and then Brandon's Packers.
Yeah.
Brandon's Packers fan. And then
that's it.
yeah, I think
That's
that's
it.
I think that's
That's
all.
10.
Yep.
If we do math, that's 10. 4
Yep.
plus 4 plus 2.
I think it is. Good call.
We've made math happen. But yeah, I mean, us Broncos fans, we got to band together, man. We've got 15-0 to go up against.
Right?
It's depressing.
The day Chad can't tell me 15-0 again will be great.
Yeah, well,
I'm
eventually it's going to
hoping-
be 16.
I'm hoping it's the home game that we go to. That might be our only chance this year, unfortunately.
Chad, you seen the Little Giants, right?
Oh yeah.
There's always that one time.
Yeah, there's always that.
Hey.
The annexation of Puerto Rico.
Hey, any given Sunday, all right? Al Pacino, all right? Any given Sunday,
That's true.
anything can happen.
That's true. I'm a little nervous this year with Sean Payton, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely some more creativity.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah, we'll see what
it's
happens.
all over.
Yeah, it should be a good one. We'll definitely have to have you on again soon. I know dude, I'm glad I didn't forget. Dude, this weekend, we got maybe my favorite fighter coming up fight night.
Oh, shit, I forgot there's another fucking fight night.
Dude, it just keeps going. No,
That's what
for
I'm saying, dude.
the next
These
6
guys need to
weeks.
make more monies, dude. There's a fight every fucking week.
Oh,
dude.
yeah. Who's Max Holloway fighting this week, man? I forgot,
shit.
Josh.
That's gonna be a good
Korean
one.
Zombie.
The Korean Zombie? No way.
Oh.
That's who he's fighting this
Yeah.
week?
Dude, hasn't
Yes,
he gotten
and
his
make
ass
sure
kicked
you wake
like the
up
last
early,
few
guys.
fights? The
Make sure
Korean
you wake
Zombie?
up early. The main event fights start at 6:00 a.m. Mountain Time.
What?
Oh, where's it at?
I'm not too sure where it's at.
Dude, Chad, you're going to have to get up early twice this weekend. 6 a.m. on Saturday
Oh,
and
dude.
7 a.m. on
Dude,
Sunday.
it is against the Korean Zombie. I thought he already fought him. Maybe not, I guess.
It's in Singapore.
Oh.
Shit.
But
That's
I
crazy.
thought
And,
the Korean Zombie was on a downslope at this point. Kind of, I felt like he's lost his last couple of fights. Am I wrong on that one?
I think you might be right, but
Hey,
he's
well,
still an
Max-
exciting fighter.
This fight's happening because Max said that Korean Zombie's the only guy he never got a fight. Max kind of wanted it.
Yeah.
That's
and
fair.
Damn, this should be good.
Coffee and fights, dude, sounds great on Saturday.
Hell yeah, it does. So this would be, 6 a.m. is when the prelims start. Fucking A. All right.
I'm working Saturday, so I'll be listening to those on my phone at work.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I got to tune into Max Holloway, dude. He is definitely one of my favorite fighters. He's so cool, man. It's just, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Other guy.
He's a straight baller. Like brawler, though. Not baller. Brawler.
Yeah. Probably one of the best boxers in the league, honestly. Or league, the fucking UFC.
Yeah, hands down.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Josh, I appreciate your expertise, man. It's been nice being able to bullshit about UFC a little longer than what we're used to at work, so we'll definitely have to have you on again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Look
have
forward to
you
hearing-
on after Chad watches the Chiefs lose at Empower Field with me.
Oh, my God. Chris took mushrooms again. Jesus.
Yeah.
Tripping over here.
You know,
All right.
we'll talk about it when it's 15-1. You know what I mean? Let's ride.
At that point, it's 0-1, right?
Yeah, it
No.
starts over. No,
No.
you're right. You're right. He's right. It starts over.
That is a good point
The
by
streak's
Josh.
gone. It's over. We start anew. I like the way he thinks.
Going to be 16-0,
I like
buddy.
the way he thinks.
16-0.
All
right,
boys.
man.
You have a good night.
Yeah, you
All
do
right,
the same,
man.
Josh.
Thanks again, Josh.
Thanks for hopping on, man. We appreciate it. You have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty.
Later,
ya.
man.
All right,
Double
dude.
down on the boo-doo-doo. Well, we've done it.
We have.
one more thing to talk about,
We do.
and it involves one of the greatest men to ever walk this earth.
Quite a legend in most people's eyes, honestly.
Yes.
He walks into some Hooters, and every single person, man and woman, in that restaurant turns their head.
Mm-hmm. Some of them
'Cause they-
orgasm.
Yeah, it happens.
It's you can't help it. That would be the one and only John Daly, and that, my friends, means that we are at the Daily Dose of Excellence. So Chad's going to pour us some shots while we listen to John Daly hit it hard, man. And we are back. Chad is precariously pouring shots on top of his laptop like a madman.
Like potions over here.
He is an alchemist.
Oh, yes.
We just drank the last of the larceny. We didn't realize how much was left. Look at him over here. He's just
going drop to drop.
Every last drop. We're barely getting an ounce of booze each.
What do you think you'd rate larceny out of 10?
I'd put it up there easy 7, 8.
Oh wow, yeah, I agree, man. I dig it. It wasn't bad.
You know, maybe next week we'll try is one of those Japanese whiskeys,
like sake, or
no? Japan has whiskey too.
No, I'd try that.
Yeah,
we're going to Red Ginger on Saturday.
Let's see if they have fucking whiskey. They have sake. I know that.
I know they've got sake.
You know what I don't like? Hot sake freaks me out.
Really?
Freaks me out.
I love hot sake. I don't like cold sake.
Really?
What? It's like tea, but it's alcoholic.
It just tastes like you're drinking fucking alcohol vapor.
It's like warm wine. It's like somebody heated up wine. Oh, I fucking love it, dude.
Freaks me out, man.
Yeah.
But I'm like one of those people. I'm like, I don't do Bloody Marys. I don't do red beers. Food and booze to me should not mix.
Dude, Bloody Marys. 11 a.m. game at Chiefs on Don's. They got their Bloody Mary bar. Oh, that's my breakfast that day.
Maybe I need to give it a try because I know people, dial it up with hot sauce. I do love hot sauce.
Worcestershire.
You need a little bit of Worcestershire in there. You get a little Worcestershire.
You got to put some of that in there.
Margarita mix.
What's the Creole seasoning? There's Old Bay. Old Bay. You got to put some of that in there.
Yeah, Old Bay.
Oh, man.
We
made me want a fucking Bloody Mary.
I kind of want to try one now. The tomatoes freaks me out.
Yeah, I don't do red beers, but I do Bloody Marys.
It's the same thing, I feel like.
Dude, you do not know what you're talking about.
The Mexican guys love chiladas, and I'm just like, I don't. That freaks me out.
My dad likes those too. It's basically taking like a light beer, like Bud Light, and you mix tomato juice. That's not a
crazy
Bloody Mary.
when it's the clamato.
That's disgusting.
When it's the clam and tomato juice.
No,
that's hardcore.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
Anyways,
Bloody Mary is vodka with
and then Bloody Mary mix and all the fixins.
Oh yeah. Well, we got a nice lady to talk about now.
Yes, her name is Grandma Suzie. And Grandma Suzie is a very, very big fan of the PGA Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And her favorite golfer just so happens to be Ricky Fowler. And this weekend at the BMW Championship, she had a chance to meet Ricky Fowler. But
I wonder if it's because Ricky has that baby face, kind of like handsome.
It's the baby face. It's also she likes the way he dresses, and he's kind of dialed that down a little bit as he's gotten older. But the big reason why Suzie is such a big deal in the PGA Tour, not only is she 103 years old, which is insane, but when Suzie turned 100, the PGA Tour gathered some of the biggest names in golf to send her a happy birthday video. This was in 2020. Fowler was in that video, and he happens to be her all-time favorite player. And on Wednesday, the 103-year-old had a chance to meet some of the tour's biggest stars, including Fowler. She sits there and says she watches every single tour event, all 4 days, Thursday through Sunday. Yeah. And she was really hoping that Ricky Fowler would pull it off this weekend. I mean, she was even telling other golfers, like, they would ask her, like, who's your favorite golfer? And she's like, well, it's Ricky.
That was Tommy Fleetwood. Yeah. Tommy Fleetwood's like, just being friendly. He's like, who's your favorite golfer? Kind of implying, like, you're going to pick me. And she's like, well, it's Ricky.
Yeah. So it's a super fun video when you're watching it. For being 103 years old, dude, she got her wits about her. And
she got around really good.
She obviously needed a little help walking long distances, but 103 years old, man, you're lucky you're walking at all. Most of the people are in wheelchairs by then.
Well, and to be that coherent. I mean,
that was the other thing, too. She's very quick, and she knew all of these golfers when they walked up. It was funny, too, when Ricky was
Watches every week, too, not just the majors.
Yeah, she said she's never missed, since she started watching, she's never missed a tour event. She watches all 4 days, like I just said earlier, but she loves watching Ricky the most.
Yeah.
And it was funny, too, because when Ricky came up to meet her, she was talking to, I think it was one of her granddaughters, and they were asking like, well, who's your favorite golfer? And she was talking about Ricky Fowler, and she didn't realize that he was standing right next to her.
Oh, wow.
And then he comes over and hugs her and stuff. But
that's cool.
We're going to give the Daily Dose of Excellence to Grandma Suzie, because Grandma Suzie is just one of those stories you just need to watch. And once this is out, one of us will be posting the video linked in here, because it's just one of those heartwarming things where, you know, you think about being that old for one, and then just, you know, to still find that much joy in life. That's being that old is, I think, what I took from it. Like, she just enjoys the little things, and as long as she's happy, that's all that matters.
You know what?
She's got her health.
I agree, and that's what I took from it as well. Is like, when you're that age, you know, some people just have all these like, you know, just depressed, distraught thoughts of like, I'm gonna be old in a nursing home. It's like, you know, if you can take care of yourself and still be coherent at that age, I would love to enjoy football when I'm 103 years old. Still enjoy baseball, whatever.
I might start playing when I'm 100. I don't know.
Start what playing?
I might start playing.
You never know. It's never too late. Never too late.
Never too late to achieve your dreams.
But to watch someone that age be that much of a diehard fan just gives you that much respect when it comes to somebody that just has, like you said, that much joy in life. And whether it be golf, bowling, fucking pickleball, whatever it is, if you find something that brings you joy, fucking get after
it's
it.
just like we talk about. There's just so much shit all the time in the news. Like, the news is just basically like what all shitty stuff is happening with like one or two good stories in there.
Yep.
And that's one of the reasons why we have the DDOE. I mean, it is kind of to also, you know, highlight these players and people, both women and men or whatever, for that fact, that go above and beyond in situations when you normally shouldn't. But it is also to highlight, you know, the good things in the news, like this story right here, where you've got this 103-year-old lady who's basically getting, you know, the time of her life meeting her favorite golfers after getting a really cool video turning 100. And I don't know, it's just one of those things. It just makes you feel good inside, and sometimes that's what we need.
That's what we need.
If that's what we can bring you here at Fringe Fanatics, then, you know, that's the least we can do.
That's what we're gonna do. Is bring you guys. You guys can count on good news every single week.
Sometimes, yeah. But there's always some good news.
You know, we'll have headlines where there might be, you know, a crazy story, a guy wandering in traffic, and then the daily dose of excellence will always be that.
It should be a light in your life. You know, like
it's a good way to end the show.
A funny story, a heartwarming story, or just, you know, an all-around good story. And then this one, I think, is both of those, and heartwarming and good. So,
and we know John Daly would approve.
Indeed. And on that note, third time's the charm on that.
It's episode 48.
Episode 48 is in the books. We have reached the end of the episode, and we appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to us on whatever you're watching or listening to us on. And also, like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all things social media at Fringe_Fanatics. Chad Lee, I love you, buddy.
I love you, buddy.
And we love each and every one of you for tuning in each and every week. Cheers. We will catch you next time.
Episode 49 coming
49,
at you.
49, dude. 3 away after that one from the year episode.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next time.
Farewell.